Alright, now I'd like to show you how to set the reveals and the sizing for your doors and drawer fronts, etc., and all the internal components that are related to those things. So I have a scene set up for my edits, and this shows you the reveals and how they, where they're located, and I'm going to show you how to adjust for that. So I'm going to open up my component. Let's start with the drawer fronts. So we had a 6-inch tall drawer front over here, if you remember. So let me show you again. We'll relook at our drawing here. We have a 6-inch tall drawer front, 9.5 and then 9 9/16. So those effectively are supposed to be equal, but I like to work with 16th-inch dimensions for cutout friendliness, as opposed to 32nds of an inch. And then we have 15 3/8 width on the two outside columns and 14/11 on the two internal columns. So that's kind of what we're working with. So let's go ahead and make that happen. So starting with our drawer front, we have, right now these are all balanced to where each of these fronts are equal in height and equal in width. And that's based on this position where it's balanced cabinet. I can do balanced reveal, and I can do a balanced where it's balanced in between whatever reveal I'd like to be balanced between. But since I have an actual dimension, what I want to work with, I'm going to go manual input from the top. I'm going to say 6 inches and apply that, and it will snap, and that'll give me a 6-inch drawer front there. For the second one, so what I could do is I could do balance between reveals and justify between those two, and that should snap and give me an equal front here to that top one of 9 and 17/32, and 9 and 17/32, but I'd like it to be a 30-second higher, so I'm going to do manual input from the bottom and do 9 point, what did we say it was, 375. Let me go check that dimension real quick. 9 and 9/16. Okay. So we want that to be set to 9.5625. And we'll apply that, and then that'll set that to where it's a more cutout for me. So let me show you that dimension. 9.5 here, and 9 and 9/16 there. We set it from the bottom to 9 9/16. Okay, and so for this one, we wanted 14 and 11/16 from the center reveal. And as you notice, this is a wider reveal, but we don't have a nosing there. So what I'd like to do is turn this nosing switch off. And that's going to snap that back to an 1/8 inch centered on my reveal space. And then I can more easily set this vertical reveal to be a manual input from the right on reveal number 2. So I can do it from the far right, or I can do it reveal 2, or I can do it reveal 3, or any other reveals I have in that. But I want to do reveal 2 because I want it from that center point. I'm going to say 14.6875. And then when I do that, that snaps there. And this one here, make sure I get the reveal. We're going to do the same thing, balance manual input from the left, and justify from the 2. And I want that to also be 14.6875. And that'll give me my 14 and 11/16. And I'll show you that with a redraw and how that's going to affect it. And I'll show you there's going to be a little computation here from something I did earlier in one of the videos, and I'll show you what that what that does and how easy it is to fix it. So all of our fronts snapped where we want them except for these two, because now we have an overlap of fronts. And that was because earlier on when I was setting up the fronts, I allowed them to center on a nosing piece as opposed to aligning up with the reveal. So I just need to turn that attribute off on both of these fronts, and that'll set it back up to the way that I like it. And so now we pretty much have the cabinet that we were hoping to match from this model right here, which I think is pretty cool. Obviously the finish is going to be different, but I have this finish set to an XX instead of a numbered finish, so that you can program your own finishes and then input this into your SketchUp model and then assign it to that finish and change it to whatever color or texture you need it to be. I guess that's it. One other thing that I could show you in this is the cut list output, which is I need to open that up, don't I? Excuse me. So we need to select a component and then generate our cut list. And when I do that, we get a summary, and we can do cutting diagrams for all of those parts, and they'll have the labels relating to the cabinet and to their position in the cabinet, and we can generate a cut list using the Open Cut List program, which is pretty cool. So thank you guys for your time.